And look at this. Joining me in the studio right here, right now, Gavin King, aka also known, probably better known as Aphrodite. Very good afternoon to you, sir.
How are you, mate?
Now, some say, and even I think you second that one, the godfather of drum and bass.
Yeah. I don't know how it got started. I think it got started in the States about 8-9 years ago, and then it stuck.
It's stuck, yes.
It kept sticking all the time.
Now, Aphrodite, your family know you as Gavin King. What do your mates call you?
Gav.
Gav? Does Gav come? Nice and easy.
Yeah.
Now, is this your first time here in NZ?
No. I must have been here about 8 or 9 times now.
Yes,
I think.
yes.
It's about that.
When was the last time you were just over here, just out of curiosity?
Last year.
Last year, there it is.
Yeah, no, last year. I was here. I did a quick jaunt to a couple of cities in Australia, Christchurch, Queenstown, I think. That was a long weekend.
Yeah.
In fact, I was here so quickly I didn't even get jet lag by the time I got back to the UK.
Yeah, because I think as we're talking about off air, you know, like that fleeting, the fleeting visits that your DJs actually put yourself through, you know, flying in, flying out.
It's okay if it's just a week. If it's just a week, because when you come out here, you're set to be alive at night time. And you sleep on the planes during the day. So if you do it every day for 5-6 days, by the time you get back to the UK, you don't have jet lag because your sleep patterns are all over the gaff.
That's not so bad. It's sort of.
But this time I had lots of time off because it's over 2 weekends, so I'm fully accustomed now to New Zealand time. So that's it. By the time I get home, I'm going to be fruitcaked. Yeah,
well, as I said, like, off here, you know, it's quite nice to hear that you actually had an opportunity to sort of come on and have a couple of days to, as you say, sleep it off. And then down to road to Vegas. Now, what's your itinerary from after the event tonight down at the car park? Where are you heading to from here?
Going to Perth tomorrow. A very fleeting visit in Perth for a gig there, and then Hobart, which I haven't been to for about 10 years, I think. I did 1 or 2 shows there before, and Sydney, which I really like.
Do you enjoy the travel?
Well, yeah, I love travelling. I must get on about 150 planes a year, something like that.
God, you must have some good bloody frequent flyer points there.
Yeah, I used to before.
Business class or economy?
Economy, unfortunately, most of it. My wife uses up all my air miles.
Where is your wife at the moment? Is she travelling with you, or is she at home?
Well, it's half term at home, and she actually took the kids to Dubai for 4 or 5 days to have a break there, and I get back and they'll be back at school.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah, no, I walked into the studio and there was talk of nappies and wipes.
Yeah, I was just.
Hey, that doesn't sound very, DJ-like.
I'm the only father around here, and I'm shocked at how naive you guys think fatherhood is going to come. Yeah, and I was just letting them know.
The fancy-free sort of number, 8-wire sort of can-do attitude.
The whole term "settle down" has no meaning. It actually, life starts when you have kids.
Yeah, 10 for that one. Now, on the scale of things, how do you find your visits to New Zealand in relation to other places that you play out at?
In Europe, I'm one of the DJs that always plays the new drum and bass, and with a chuck of old school. Here, I'm finding people, because I haven't been here that frequently, people are more expecting me to play more of the old school.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, I'll just make a little quote from your website, which I actually quite like. You've got a very tight little website there, if you don't mind me saying. DJ Aphrodite is known for playing out a good vibe that ranges from classics to upfront and exclusive dub plates. Afro is invited to DJ in countries all over the world. I thought that was just a really nice little blurb, a little bit of an overview.
That is kind of me in a nutshell.
Yeah, in a nutshell.
Yeah. That's how it is.
With all the success you've had, starting in the late 80s and through to the present, do you think you would have been as successful if you had started today?
Difficult question. I think DJ wise, record wise, it wouldn't have made a difference, because whatever period you're from, or whenever you start, there's always lots of tracks out there, and there's always lots of DJs, and there's always lots of things happening. Money wise, it's much harder now because there's no more money in record sales.
Yes, it's all going digital, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, look, I tell you what. It got us somewhere, and look, sort of leads me on to my next question. How have you seen the method of producing, as far as the tools and the systems from when you first started out to now, and of course with the addition of the interweb. Or the World Wide Web, and people being able to sort of collaborate via email.
It's much easier to make tunes now than it used to be. Much easier. I mean, you got people who are throwing things together in a couple of hours on is it Cakewalk?
Yes. File share. There's another one too where people can actually just sort of post their stuff up. Yeah.
People making tunes on their iPod.
Yeah. What did you back in the like when you first made your first tune? How old were you?
I was about 20.
And what sort of equipment were you using at the time?
I used one Commodore Amiga computer.
The Commodore Amiga.
Yeah.
God, do you still have that Commodore Amiga?
I do. I still have one. Yes.
Yeah, lovely. Now, your record label was, of course, Aphrodite Recordings. When did it become viable to actually launch that label?
It's not a question of being viable or not. It's just a question of like, do you want to release music? If you're releasing music, if you're making music, you don't need necessarily a label behind you. Not if you're making underground.
Yes.
If you move to making top 20 stuff or very, very popular stuff, then a large label can spread you around the world very, very well. But if you're making underground stuff, the music generally does all the talking.
Yes.
Most DJs, I guess, are like myself. You don't care who made it, where it's come from. You play it if you like it.
Yeah. A little DJ Shay quote: "If it sounds good, let it roll. If you're too narrow-minded, you miss out."
I like that quote.
And that sort of spans across all genres. And I truly believe it doesn't really matter what sort of genre you're in. If it sounds good, Jesus Christ, let's let that roll on out.
It will be played, yeah.
Now, you donned the name Aphrodite, I believe, from an old club, Acid House club that you own. Is this true?
Yeah, I mean, me and a mate ran a club in 88 because 88 was when the whole rave scene kicked off and started. So we were at university near Coventry in the Midlands, and there was no scene there. It was all London based with a bit of Manchester. Anyone from Manchester will disagree with that, but I'm from London. So
does that make you, sorry to cut you off there, does that make you a geezer or a cockney? I live with a cockney bastard, and his best mate is a scouser.
A bit of a geezer.
Scouser, yeah.
Sometimes I'm a bit of a geezer. I'm not a cockney because I'm not an East Ender. I'm a South Londoner.
God, you guys are so territorial over there, right? I love it. Hey, now, have there been any responses to your name, Aphrodite, as it is the
all the time over the years?
The Greek goddess of love and stuff.
I actually tried to change it a few times. I think
doesn't work.
Yeah, I try to shorten it. I am, because it's like, Jesus, it's the goddess of love. And, people think like, I'd actually one time in about 1996, I think, I remember arriving at an airport and the person didn't pick me up because they spent all their time looking for a black woman.
That's awesome, eh? And you sort of stand there.
But the thing is, once you have a name, you can't change it. That's it. You're stuck with it.
I think you also get named as well.
Yeah. But fortunately, I've been around long enough to kind of like give the term Aphrodite kind of different meaning.
So you don't have to answer this one. How many famous chicks have you wooed with the name Aphrodite?
I'm married now, mate.
Yeah, we'll leave that there, eh? We'll just keep on moving, eh? Uncomfortable laugh there. Oops, daisy, back the truck up, Shay. Now, look, put aside the drum bass, the jungle, the jump up. What other sort of musical influences do you have?
Oh, everything, mate.
What did your parents listen to?
Classical. I played the violin and piano from the age of 4. So I grew up around classical, and because of living in South London, got immersed in electro and the underground music scene. As soon as you take that step out the charts, which everyone does at some point, be it when they're 8, 10, 13 or whatever, but you make that switch to the underground. It was easy for me because it was all over the radio.
Yes. Has it always, what came first? Was it the DJing or the producing, or vice versa?
I started making tunes because I couldn't afford to buy records.
Nice. Really?
So I wanted different tunes in my mixtapes. So the only way to make different tunes was to have different tunes in my mixtapes was to make them.
And did you record any of like your, use any of your classical training, like the piano or the violin, to actually add in?
No. It's just the musicality, the kind of the sense of being musical helps.
Now, the question you probably get asked all the time, of course, featuring in a cult classic movie, Human Traffic. How much of a buzz was that?
I didn't even know.
You didn't even know? Have you seen the movie?
I have seen the movie.
Good, correct.
But I remember they put in King of the Beats first, and they sent me. They said they're using King of the Beats in this scene.
Yes.
But King of the Beats has just been released, so they wanted something newer that hadn't been released yet. So I sent them Stalker.
Yep, that was the one.
And they chose that one. But when I finally saw the scene, it was hilarious.
It's awesome. Really good job, mate.
I had no idea it was going to become like it's the classic scene of the movie.
We've actually revisited it a couple of times, when we knew you were coming over, and it's one of those cult classics. So it must have been quite a buzz. So to sort of see it and go, they've actually done a good job.
Oh, because
that's my tune.
But it's the funniest scene in the whole movie. It's great.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely agree. And
and puffing the herb.
And then he sort of dives back and it's like it. I love it. For all you guys out there who are just wondering what we're rambling about, we're talking to Aphrodite just about this and the other. And the movie we're talking about is, of course, Human Traffic, cult classic, a beautiful little watch, a real easy one to get into. Now, you've been in the scene for some time. How are you managing to keep your music fresh?
You can't. Literally, whatever you do, however you make it, it will always sound like an Aphrodite tune.
Yeah.
Because it has my signature. It has new sounds. It might have deeper bass. It might have new style drums.
Yep.
But it will always sound like me.
Yeah. I tell you, for all the listeners out there, Gavin, aka Aphrodite, has actually had a good old smile on his face the whole time too. I can feel the passion coming off you. Whereabouts? Where was your birthplace? Oh, yeah, it was London, wasn't it?
No. I was born in a town called Aberystwyth, which is in Wales, and about a month ago, I DJ'd there for the first time.
Oh, how was it?
It was great. Well, the BBC they contacted me beforehand and they said, "Well, we hear you were born in Aberystwyth and it's the first time you've been back
nice.
since you were about 5." And I said, "Yeah, it's true." And they gave me such a good reception there, and it was a great show. It rocked it. It was great.
Lovely. Have you ever had a paper run or like flip burgers or anything like that? Or has it always been music?
I stack shelves.
Merchandising.
I've done my fair share of crap jobs.
Yeah, I think so. What did your parents think about all this? When you decided, or should I say, how did they react when you made a decision to make your career path as a musician, as a DJ, as a producer?
I was told to get a proper job, but I have to say my parents just supported me. As long as I was making ends meet, it was okay. And it did get very bad because you don't make any money for the first few years. I didn't make any money for about 4 or 5 years, really.
And that's where passion sort of fuels it a bit too. There. At what stage? A question I like to ask. At what stage did you realise, hey, this is actually getting pretty big?
I still don't really ever think it's that big.
Do you think you've reached your pinnacle yet?
Who knows? I hope not.
Yeah. If you could only listen to one Aphrodite tune for the rest of your life, what one would it be?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I know.
Listening to my own tunes is difficult because each one, each one means something else. Each one means something different. Generally, each one means 2 weeks of sitting in my studio, drinking tea and smoking cigarettes.
Good, man after my own heart. Yeah, man after my own heart. So, will we put that into too hard basket, or do you have one which you always sort of think back and or revisit, or maybe drop into a set as a nostalgic classic?
It goes in waves. Recently, I started pulling out King of the Beats again, and I get a really good reaction from the bass line.
Too hard basket,
it's really difficult to ask.
Understandable.
To ask.
Now, I'll tell you, we're not going to sort of drill you too much harder. I've only got a couple more left here for you. And a couple of sort of funny ones for you. Now, if your mate Mickey Finn had a fight with Pete Tong, small ring, no gloves, who would win?
Mickey within 30 seconds.
Why 30 seconds?
Because he's a bit of a hard nut.
Is he?
Yeah.
Who is better?
I mean, the guy went inside. He's got a bad childhood. If you ever sit down and talk to him, I wouldn't mess with Mickey in a fight. No way.
Okay, Groove Rider and Fabio. Who's the better person?
The better person?
Yeah. Who do you like better?
Who do I like better? I can't answer that. I don't. They're both nice in their own way.
There we go. Do you regret having a ponytail in the mid-90s?
The only time I regretted it was when I decided to chop it off. I decided to chop it off because I was driving a convertible car around.
Yes.
And guys started beeping me from behind. They'd see me from behind driving the car, and they'd beat me.
A little bit awkward.
And
it's like,
So I was like, all right, so this, I want to get a haircut.
Okay, final one, a real easy one. Who do you prefer, Santa Claus or the Tooth Fairy?
Oh, Santa Claus.
Santa Claus it is. Now, look, just finally, you're playing down the car park, which is an absolutely beautiful venue. It's going to be absolutely rammed for the show this evening. What time is your set?
I think 12:30.
Half 12?
Half midnight, yeah.
What are the guys going to get during the course of your set?
Discussing that earlier, I think I'm going to draw a lot of classics tonight and just see how we go. I've got some new stuff I also want to play though, so yes. I'm just going to mix it up a bit. Lovely. Look, there we go. Aphrodite, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you for your time. Now, if it's okay, I wouldn't mind getting to whack on a couple of tunes. Is that doable? No problem at all. No problems. Look, I'll tell you what, we are going to jump into a very quick ad at 45 minutes past the hour of 4. Yes, we'll do that, and we're going to come back with a very, very cool DJ and a really nice little taster for this evening's event down at the car park bar. This is the Up FM. This is DJ Shay. Check it.